When it comes to the Department of Education, the president and his policy team continue to look at options and how to reduce the size of the Department of Education, if not abolish it completely. He wants to return the power over our education system back to the states. 70% of 8th graders are at a below proficient level in math and reading. 70%, and that's despite spending hundreds of billions of dollars on education every single year.
Well, the White House giving the Department of Education an F as they weigh plans to dismantle it. Congressional Democrats speaking out against this on Friday, demanding a meeting with the acting education secretary. Watch this.
It is fascinating that they are coming after public education, because when you talk about private schools or vouchers, in these spaces, people get to choose which kind of student they are going to accept. It is the public schools that parents get to decide where their children get to go.
Joining me now is Nebraska Congressman Adrian Smith. And, you know, she's talking there about children, sir. But the fact is, and Caroline Levitt was was kind of going through the numbers there. The fact is that math scores, reading scores have plummeted, yet the federal spending per student has jumped. And this has been going on for years. We're failing our kids the way that the system is set up right now. How do we change this?
Well, we need to empower parents. Across America, every neighborhood, we know that there are children trapped in education systems that are not delivering. We also know there are some great examples out there as well. But we need to empower parents and for parents to make decisions that's in the best interest of their children. And I think that we are on our way to doing that. Reducing the bureaucracy in education, I think, is very key, because we need to ask ourselves the question, how has the local classroom teacher been helped, for example, with all of the bureaucracy? We need to make sure that teachers can teach and that ultimately parents can make decisions that are in the best interest of their children.
Well, not to put a finer point on it, but remember that the teacher salaries are coming from the state. A lot of these, the ways that schools work is already at the state level, the local level. So that's the rub against the education department. You have co-sponsored a bill. It is the Student Empowerment Act. It expands the use of 529 college savings plans. What are the details in this proposal, sir?
Yeah, they're similar to college savings plans. This would apply to the expenses for K-12 education, and sometimes that means a tutor off to the side that would enhance a public education. You know, but it's up to the parents. Let the parents decide. You know, we have a lot of neighborhood schools around America, certainly around my district, that are very accessible, and we want to make sure, though, that parents always have the opportunity and the flexibility to make the decisions that are in the best interest of their children.
Well, you know, certainly if you can get these kids in the appropriate way to the college level, that's the key here. And I think that's why this argument over the Department of Education is so critical at this time. Now, Congressman, President Trump had a very lengthy meeting with House Republican leaders on Thursday, pushed the budget bill forward. But as we heard from Senator Scott earlier in the program, Senate Republicans are moving ahead with their own two bills that bypasses the House, that kicks tax cuts to later on in the year. You're on House Ways and Means Committee. What can you tell us about what's in that House bill right now, and what do you make of the move on the Senate side to kind of usurp you?
Well, I'm encouraged on the House side that we are seeing progress on a budget come together, that we're looking at savings, you know, some modest cuts overall, but meaningful. I think the single bill is the best way to get the most, given the number of votes we have, given the closeness of the majority. A two-bill option, I just see that we get less, and we won't be able to address the items that we ultimately need to address.
All right. Well, we're certainly going to be watching your work, sir. My thanks to Congressman Adrian Smith.